Hello everybody and welcome to an InstaSim live stream. A special InstaSim live stream. We're doing an all-day stream today. For like, I don't know how long this is going to take. I've planned it out. It's probably going to take about 10 hours, including breaks in the middle, probably in overall streaming time. About 12 hours maybe, but we're going to obviously have breaks in the middle for lunch and tea. So, hello everybody and welcome to the InstaSim channel. Hope everybody's having a great day today. I can see people are already in the chat and excited to begin. We got Mantadea, let's go, absolutely, the gold hype, the Biluna, and the amazing Hog Champ as well, which is, you know, absolutely fantastic. We got DJ Ouya Fusher 2007. Am I pronouncing that right? I don't know. We got him. We got both of them in the chat, and hello to both of you. Hope you're both doing well today. We also have a guest with us today as well. We have Matthew. Let me just get him up for you guys. Hey, Matt.
Hello.
Hello. We got Matthew on today, and we're gonna be doing the all-day stream, the All Stations Challenge once again. Another one, which this one used to be completely impossible to do. And now it's not impossible anymore because the timetable's changed. It's just a question of where the hell did I put the file with the structure that I'm going to be following. I'll figure that one out in a moment. I'm just going to open up TransPennine World 2 and we're going to start off there. And whilst I'm starting TransPennine World 2, I'm going to try and figure out where I put the notepad file. Ah, okay. It's in Documents and it's just sort of there. What's new text document? Oh, it's something else. Don't worry about it. Okie dokie. Right. Let's get Notepad up on the stream as well. Let's get the game up. So turn that off, turn that on. I think that should just give us TransPennine World. It doesn't, which is a bit weird. It's on City Skylines, that's why. TransPennine World 2, there we go. There we go. Now it gives us TransPennine World 2. Excellent. Right, skip that. We don't want mastery challenges today. We're doing something even more mastery than mastery challenges. Right, Northern TransPennine is what we want. Right. Does
anyone actually do the mastery challenges?
I have no idea. No one does the All Stations challenges except me because I'm the only one mad enough to do them. Right, open up Notepad. See what comes up. Okay, that comes up. I think that looks alright actually. Yeah, I think you guys can see that. Unless there's more. No, there's no more than that. Okay, so this is our structure for today. We start off in... Let's just make that a little bit smaller. Move that to the side, like so. Excellent. So, today we have two things. I have two things I just want to mention very, very quickly with you guys. This is the structure for today. This is how we're going to be structuring the whole thing. This is just the way that I planned it out. So looking at the timetable, finding out where there's connecting services and stuff like that, which actually works. The whole thing in timetable speak takes about 10 hours to do. I can't remember when the start time was supposed to be. Let me just load up the timetable and find out. Hold on a moment. Where did I... Where did I save that to? Or was it just on OneDrive?
You lost all your files again?
Yeah.
From a tip ago. What do you do again? For...
Oh, it's... oh, wait. I put it in the timesheets folder for some reason. Okay, let me figure out what time we were supposed to start this again. 7:15 is our first departure time, so about 7:10 should do fine. Right, let's just get this started so that we're actually there. I'm actually going to change the weather a little bit. We're going to make it a little bit wet. We're going to have a little bit of precipitation. Excuse me, a little bit of precipitation. Have it a little bit wet. We're going to have a little bit of cloud. And we're going to have a little bit of wind. You know, this is like the current weather. Well, you can't get snow for some reason, which is annoying, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. Right, we don't want to start in Huddersfield. We want to start in... Where are we starting in? Okay, what's that? Sand Eaglestone. Are we going the right way? Yes, we are. Manchester, Victoria, and we're starting at 10 past 7. There we go. Let's start. Obviously, the timing actually starts on this when when the first train leaves, which should be at 7:15. And then it's a matter of just following the long day, because it takes about an hour 40 minutes to go from one side to the other on this map. So yeah, but today we have the ultimately amazing rubber duck mug to help us today. Right, where is my train? I have a feeling it's that one over there, right on the other side of the station, because of course it's broken down. I mean, it probably is. It's not. It's probably Northern Rail, so it's probably broken down. Now, I'm also going to be trying to look for some collectibles along the way, like we always do in the All Stations Challenge. I'll be looking for some collectibles along the way. The idea, of course, is not to get all the collectibles. We don't have to get all the collectibles to win this. The only thing we have to do is visit every single station as a passenger on the railway. And that is it. And a visit counts as coming off the train and joining another service later on to do the thing. Now, I think this is my train, but I'm going to wait until the doors are open just in case we have made a big mistake. So, now we're underneath the canopy because it's raining today, of course, because it's Manchester, it's in the north of England, which gets rain a lot more than the south. But that's fine. So, what's the structure for today? We're going to start off here at Manchester, Victoria, and we're basically going to be visiting every single station on this line up to Leeds City. We're also doing this as a charity event, of course. We're doing this as a charity event for the Samaritans. Hey, don't push in front of me. I'm trying to speak to the wonderful viewers at home who want to watch my stream today. We're going to be doing... They're doing this as a charity event for the Samaritans as well. It's kind of a continuation from the Brew Monday campaign of last week. And so more or less a continuation of that. So if you have your panads, make sure they are ready. They are piping hot, ready to go. Preferably Yorkshire tea, but you know, if you like any other brand of tea, that's fine. We're very accepting on the InstaSim channel. We like diversity. Diversity of tea. Just don't drink coffee, that's fine, but if you're drinking tea, then it's fine. You can drink whatever tea you like, preferably Yorkshire tea, but you know, any tea is acceptable here on the InstaSim channel. Just don't drink coffee. Coffee is for heathens. Isn't it, Matthew? Yes, and even the spiffing Brit will agree with me.
I only have coffee if it's a really bad day.
I've actually gone off coffee completely. I don't drink coffee anymore. I used to drink Costa lattes, and yeah,
I wonder why you've gone off coffee.
No, actually, Costa lattes were nice. I like lattes. Well, I used to anyway. And I just don't anymore for some reason. I just got off it. Don't know why. I think there's a route map over here. Let's go and collect it. Hey! Oh no, it's a poster. The journey fillers from the train buffet. Of course, the notorious British Rail sandwich. Right then.
British Rail sandwich is the best British Rail hand sandwich.
Probably, yeah. Right then, so we're doing this as a charity event for the Samaritans. If you do want to donate, if you type !charity in the chat, that'll bring up the link for you to the Just Giving page, where we'll be doing the fundraising. I'll obviously be reading out donations and messages and stuff like that as well during the stream, if we get any through. The goal is to reach £250, but any amount that we can raise is absolutely fantastic, because Samaritans, they are a great charity. Every little helps, especially at this time. Samaritans, they are a mental health charity. They're based in the UK. They have a free phone you can call from the UK and Ireland, and they are just there to give you free independent advice, or if you just want to have a chat with someone, if you're feeling a bit down in the dumps, or if you're really seriously thinking about something very serious like suicide or something, then the Samaritans are there. They can help you out. They help a lot of people out. So our train has opened its doors, so we are going to jump on board. and begin the Northern TransPennine All Stations Challenge. We're going to sit in this seat. I don't believe this train has first class. I
Nope.
can't imagine it does. It's a Class 101, and, you know, if a Class 101 has first class, then how the
It's the
hell
upper
Wales
class
doesn't? I don't know. It's the upper class 101.
To be fair, I think some of the first generation, first and second generation DMUs did have first class.
Yeah. Some of them
Which
did,
is-
yeah.
Which it is quite funny considering we don't in Wales.
No, we don't. Well, we have one first class service, and it's
But
called.
that's not a diesel with multiple unit. That's a loco
No.
service.
True. I mean, the local services have got first class, to be fair. I think the only DMU service we have that has first class is hauled by a Voyager. Which is
Yes.
not very good. That's not very much first class either.
The Holyhead Wrexham services, yeah.
Yeah. But Transport for Wales have said they're looking to get first class on services. I don't know if they'll be doing Holyhead to Cardiff in first class, though. Like, if it was me running the railways, I would have every Holyhead to Cardiff train has first class, every Milford Haven to Manchester service has first class, and every Llandudno to Manchester has first class.
I'd say the Cambrian as well.
I don't know really about the Cambrian because you've got the...
Well, if you're going from Birmingham to Porthelly, it's a bit... it's quite
true.
a long trip.
True, that's a good point. Just get every service to have first class in it, there you go.
Aye.
Makes
Northern-
more money then. Our
Northern
train
can
starts.
sort of manage it.
Yeah. Our train has begun and we're starting off. I think we started about 16 minutes past. I think we were in Manchester for about a minute. But it's fine.
I'm thinking about if LNWR can manage it on their stopper service,
Yeah.
so can anybody else really.
I mean, the funny thing is, though, is that London North Western Railway had at one point when I was looking at going to London, it had first class cheaper than standard.
Yeah.
What do you actually get in first class with London North Western anyway? Is it any different to standard class apart from the fact that the seats arrangement is slightly different?
Probably not a lot. You get some water
Oh, okay.
and some water. I don't know.
Yeah, water.
I've not really been brave enough to try it.
Yeah, I was gonna try it in going to London because it was cheaper than standard class. The one downside was I
It
arrived
takes
in
forever.
Crewe. Well, yeah, first of all, it takes forever because I think that was the one that goes literally via Stoke-on-Trent that way, which it was ridiculous. And I think it took 3 hours in total. But for 20 quid for 3 hours, it wasn't too bad. I mean, I wouldn't be too fussed about that, to be fair. Plus, the fact that I wouldn't have been able... Because I had a hotel and I was there for 2 days anyway, I didn't necessarily need to rush there either. The problem was, I didn't arrive in Crewe in time to catch the train, so I couldn't have bought it. And... what else was there? Yeah, I wasn't in Crewe in time for it, basically, so I couldn't get it. So instead I had to go with the Virgin trains, and it was the last time I'd ridden with Virgin trains, actually, going to London. In standard class, though. But next time I'm going to London, I'm probably going to try and get first class.
Yeah, that's if you can get the advance tickets for them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I'll be honest, after travelling first class that time to Lancaster, I feel like I just only want to travel first class now. I don't want to go back to standard. I kind of have to, because Transport for Wales doesn't have first class, but...
One thing I would like to do when I go to uni is give LNERs a try.
Yeah, I want to do that as well.
Because just to compare, it's like who has the better first class service. At the moment, I may slightly push it towards Elenia, because they have the newer trains.
Yeah, but like the Pendolinos were really nice though. To be fair.
But considering how old the Pendolinos are now, they're like coming up to 20 years old.
Yeah, but they're still very reliable.
And apparently they have like they've not long gone through their half-life service.
Yeah.
So it could be around for another 20 years.
Yeah.
But they're built bloody well compared to everything else.
They are really well done. I remember the first time I went on a Pendolino, actually. It was to Glasgow I went from Warrington Bank Quay to Glasgow. The journey from Warrington Bank Quay to Glasgow took about 3 hours, plus the hour to get to Warrington Bank Quay from Wrexham. So it took about 4 hours to get from Wrexham to Glasgow, which actually takes less time than going from Holyhead to Cardiff. Wouldn't you believe it? I am making a video based on Wales, and it's going to be amazing. I've actually been scripting it. Well, not scripting it, but pointers kind of thing, so I know what I want to talk about. And that is being put in there. You can get a flight from Cardiff to Spain. It takes half the time than it does to get from Holyhead to Cardiff by train, and it costs half as much.
It's shocking, isn't it?
It is ridiculous. No, that's what I wanted to check, was the price of tickets from Wrexham General to, was it Trainline? I want not train, just train. Oh, there we go, Trainline. There we go.
Wrexham to Gwersol.
Yeah, Wrexham accept
130.
cookies. Yeah, that's the thing. You said it was 130.
Or off peak is £41.70 because it asks you to buy the Northwest round robin. Which I didn't even know there was Northwest round robin, to be fair.
It is £1.30 as well. Oh no, a single is £1.30. A return is £1.40.
It's still cheaper.
True. It used to be £1.50 last year. Yeah, last year it was £1.50. And now it's £1.40, so it's come down in price.
Like 10p.
What about Holyhead to Wrexham?
It's probably the same.
£36. That's obviously not advanced fares though. I don't know. I don't know what the price was before. I know what the advanced price was. What about Wrexham to Shotton? Because I know what the price of this used to be. I think. £4.50 now. I think it used to be £4.60, £4.90. No, it used to be £4.90. So that's come down in price as well.
Of course, Transport for Wales trains are operated by the Welsh government, isn't it?
True.
With Keolis Emmy sort of being a consultant.
Yeah. Well, from February, isn't it? That they're doing it, isn't it? Where did you find the off-peak one?
That was on National Braille Inquiries.
Ah, right, yeah, there is a North Wales round robin, or
Northwest round robin.
Oh yeah, there is. That does exist.
I didn't know until I saw that.
Because I think it's a bit like the Explore Wales Pass. I think Rovers and Rangers. Yeah, that's the one.
I know the North Wales round robin, which takes you onto the Festiniog Railway as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Northwest round robin. There's also Explore the Northwest, I think. Yeah, so you got Explore Wales, which is explore the entirety of Wales.
I think it's the Festiniog round robin, actually, not the North Wales.
The Festiniog round robin, I think you get to do a circular route.
Yeah.
From Chester to Blaenau. along on the
any direction.
Festiniog to Porthmadog, and then on the Cambrian to Shrewsbury and back up then to Chester. I think that's what the Festiniog round robin is.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't have it there anyway at the moment.
I don't think it actually shows it on the computers. You have to go to the station and request it.
Ah, right. Might be interesting to do that one at some point.
I'd like to see a rail tour. Do it.
Yeah.
Chester, then get to class 97 to take you to Porthmadog.
Yeah, that's the
Then-
only thing you got to think about Ertums, don't you? But then again, you then need the rail tour to meet you in Blaenau, which going from Porthmadog to Blaenau on the main line takes years.
Just get another train waiting there.
True, you could do that. Yeah, 66. Ying, 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 ying.
Let's do 66s. Well, a 67 went up the line. So
I've seen a
assume
60. I've seen a 66 do it as well.
Have you?
Yeah.
I haven't.
I saw a rail tour with a 66 do it.
And to be fair, the Scots did it as well. So
True.
Scots Guardsmen went up there.
The Sherwood Forester did it as well, but it went up with 7 coaches and had to reverse back to Betters Accord.
To be fair, if a Black 5 can't go up there, I'd be amazed.
Yeah, but it can only go up, I think, with 5 coaches, isn't it? I think.
I don't know.
Because, and not a word of a lie, this was probably the luckiest holiday I'd ever been on. I was actually at the campsite in Betters Accord. The railway's right next to it. And basically, we went to the station because we basically planned this holiday to see this steam train go past. And basically what happened was, we went to the station obviously to see the steam train, and then the steam train went past and was like, oh, we'll see it come in on the way back down again, right? Coming past the campsite. But we've seen it now. It was like, oh, cool, yay, that's fine. We can get on with the rest of the day. And then the thing goes up, and then about half an hour later, the thing comes back down again, and it's like it comes in reverse. The steam train is still at the front, and it's coming back in reverse. Basically, it couldn't get up the hill. And then it was just like, oh, what's happened here?
What sort of day was it? Was it dry?
Yeah, it was quite dry.
I can't imagine I would have slipped up at the hill. Black 5 is quite good.
No, I think it was too heavy because I think it had too many coaches on it. Because it had to drop 2 coaches off at Betters Accord. Basically, it dropped 2 coaches off right outside the campsite. Basically.
I can't understand how that would work.
I have no idea.
Because you just can't leave 2 coaches on the main line.
That's what they did, though. They literally did that.
Because surely there's people in those coaches as well, I don't know.
No, they evacuated those 2 coaches and then took the train up back to Blaenau Festiniog and then coupled them up then at Blaenau. I don't know how they did it, but they did it somehow. Because basically the steam train went up to Blaenau, passed originally, went up to Blaenau, came back down again, dropped 2 coaches off at the rear, went back up to Blaenau, steam train came back down again to collect the other 2 coaches, goes back up again, and then it came back down in reverse of it later on. And basically it caused a lot of disruption as well, because obviously the normal service couldn't go to Blaenau at the time. I'm assuming in the normal circumstances the steam train would have gone into the loop to allow the normal passenger service to continue running, but because it had to leave 2 coaches at Betters Accord, couldn't do that. But no, that was quite funny, man. It was not expected either. Like, I wasn't expecting it, and neither were my family either.
No one would expect something like that. I'm not sure even if the driver would expect something like that.
No. Right, are we running on time? I'm not quite sure.
There you go.
Oh no, we are running on time, it's fine. I think we're at Ashton, aren't we?
Got a 20-minute wait now.
20-minute wait for what?
My next service.
Oh. That's a crouched. Yeah, we're running on time, it's fine. Well, in fact, we're running a bit early, actually. Sounds of the 101 aren't actually that bad, to be fair.
I sort of wish there was a bit of an easier way of driving the 101. It's like...
No, I agree, yeah. It's a little bit of a pain to drive.
It's like, sometimes it just feels like there's far too much release on it compared to in Train Sim Classic.
Well, yeah, but I think in Train Sim Classic, if I remember correctly, the brake was just a standard. Well, the brake simulation was just a standard, really, wasn't it? It wasn't anything special. How do I turn the lights on in the?
In one of the cabs, I think. Well, it's in both cabs. I can't remember if it's the one in the guard compartment as well.
I thought there was one in the guard compartment. It just got very dark when we went through a tunnel.
But they are in the cabs.
Which button is it? That's the cab light. I remember seeing them somewhere at some point. I think it might have been in the coach, the local haul services actually, where they're in the coaches, in the guard compartment.
Yeah. On the local haul services, one is in the guard compartment.
Yeah.
And I think they're in each coach as well. I can't quite remember. But on the 101s, they're in the cabs on either end on the second man side.
On the second man side? And do you know where on the second man side they are?
On the panel.
On the panel. The brake light, but there's no passenger lights.
Come and have a look.
Control circuit key.
Yeah, it should be above the control circuit key.
Oh, on top of it. Destination light. Test. Right marker, left marker.
Wrong panel.
No, that's the wrong panel, yeah. There's no panel there.
Second man side. That's the driver's side.
This is the second man side here, isn't it? Where I'm at now.
I can see it. It's behind the brake. Behind the e-brake.
Oh, this one?
Yep.
Ah, gotcha. There we go, now we got lights. I don't need to turn the lights on in the other side though, because I'm not sitting there. What station are we at now? We are at Stalybridge. Which, if I remember correctly, this was a station I was always having trouble with before because not many services stopped here before. And now every service stops here. I think. I can't remember which station it was actually. There was one station where there's very limited stopping.
I'm trying to think of what station that is.
I might have it on the old timetables. Hold on. I'll have a look. Because I've got
Do you
the
have
old
heavy?
time.
Do you have heavy freight as well?
Yes. You gifted me that, didn't you? I
I
think.
can't remember.
Neither can I. Northern
It feels
TransPennine with freight services.
feels like so long ago.
Yeah. There was one station which had very, very limited stopping, and I can't remember which one it was. Now, it couldn't have been Stalybridge. That one's bold in the timetable, and I think that one's got quite a lot of services. Maybe it was Slaithwaite? Greenfield, maybe? There was one, I just can't remember which one it was, and it had very, very limited stopping services. And it was really difficult to plan around it. Because you'd always get stuck, and I can't remember which... can't remember which station that was. And I'm pretty
Bless
sure
you.
it was on Northern TransPennine. Either that or the sheer lack of services on the route itself might have been the cause of it. I can't remember. But it's possible now, that's why we're doing it today.
This is when you get stuck at a station and you have to walk.
Yeah. The thing is, I nearly got stuck. I nearly forgot about Ashton under Lyme when I was planning this out yesterday. I only planned this out yesterday, by the way. But I nearly forgot about Ashton under Lyme. Because I was going through the whole thing and I was like, oh, I can go park to Batley. But I forgot about Ashton under Lyme, that I needed to stop there as well. But thankfully, the service I get from Park, there's a service right after it. There's also a stopping service that stops everywhere, so I basically have it so that it's going Park to Ashton, and then Ashton to Batley. Practically right after each other. But, yeah. At the end. Hoping that it works. But we'll find out. Right, let's have a tour of this train. How comfortable are the seats? I can't really check. I haven't got arms.
I think they'll be like old bus seats, really.
Yeah, a bit like the Pacers.
Yeah.
Look at this, I'm sitting in the guard compartment.
Apart from on those, there'll be the springy bus seats.
Yeah.
I would think. My dad might know better.
Sit in second class seat. I like how it tells me to sit in second class specifically. No, this train doesn't have any first class, which is quite strange because it does have. It has it segregated. It has a segregation door, so you could have first class in the train, but there's no first class.
I think some didn't have first class and some did. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Sort of on the tip of my tongue.
I recall there are some first generation DMUs that do have first class, and there's some
There
that
definitely
don't.
are. To replace first class lost in the loco steam services and diesels loco services.
Yeah, I definitely remember there being first class in some of them. I just don't remember which ones.
I think it's down to regions.
Yeah, like Wales wouldn't have first class at all.
No.
But London would have everything with first class because it's London.
It's London.
And again, funnily enough, London Overground don't have first class.
I can understand that. It's a commuter service, really.
True. Oh, this does have lights in it. I need to get back on the train. Come on. There we go. Oh. So the lights do come on both ends if you turn the lights. Interesting. We're at Mossley now.
Yeah, the lights will come on both ends through like a jump cable.
Ah, okay. I didn't realise that. I'll have a look at watching it coming on and off. I'll just turn the lights off and turn them back on again. Nah. Watching the lights come on and off in the coaches. Wee! Woo! If you do notice anything suspicious, please advise a member of the onboard staff. Or you can call the Ghostbusters. Whichever floats your boat. Ooh.
I like how the service coming in now always comes on with its tail lights.
Hey, which service is that?
I don't know. It's an ECS service, but it comes in with its tail lights on.
Which route?
East Coast Way.
Oh. I wonder if they actually do that sometimes, like if they're just going into the platform. I mean, I don't think they do.
No.
No.
There's probably a rule stating that you can't do it, because
That's
otherwise
not
you'd be
safe.
you'd be confusing any rail workers around you.
Yeah.
Because the marker lights are there really to say your direction rather than
True.
light anything, make you a bit more visible.
I don't think that's very safe. I can just open the guard door.
While moving.
Yes.
Oh, it's very safe. Back in those days it was anyway.
Well, yeah. Nowadays, I'm pretty sure there'd be health and safety guidelines to say that you just can't do that anymore.
It's a bit like on the slam shut services. And AP have done it as well with their 411, 412 pack.
Yeah.
Is that as the train comes in, all the doors slowly open while you're still moving.
Oh, that's cool.
And the guard door comes in open as well. And then of course as the train departs, all the doors close. But the guard door sort of waits until it leaves the platform before closing.
That's cool.
That isn't done by trying to detect the length of the platform. That's done by scenario markers.
Oh.
So you have to put a marker down at every single station.
Yeah.
But you can open and close the doors. What numbers have I got on my train? I've not actually checked.
Saw a friend post on Facebook saying, "Congratulations, you've just won a lifetime supply of the last thing you bought. What do you have?" And the last thing I bought was a pack of Jiffy bags and packing tape from Wilco's.
What was the last thing I bought? Ferrero Rocher, I think. I'm not sure. Or was it pizza?
Oh yeah, forgot to mention, people, I'm selling my old capture card because I got a new one and it's much better than the old one.
Selling it while there.
I'm selling my old one. If anybody wants it, it's on eBay. I've posted it on Twitter. But yeah, if anybody wants it, then they can buy it. But no, I'm selling the old one because I got a new one to replace it recently because I wanted something a little bit better. And now I've tested the new one and it works really, really well. I can sell the old one off. If anybody wants it, it does quite a lot of good things actually. It can record PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4. I would imagine it can do PlayStation 5 as well because it's just got a HDMI input in it, which works quite well with PlayStation 5, I imagine. It records up to 1080p 60, and I've used it on stream before, so you guys can know what it looks like. It works really, really well in my opinion. But yeah, if anybody wants it, then have a look on eBay, and you can also make an offer on it as well. I'll accept offers. The asking price of 60 quid, because it's a pretty good capture card to be fair. If anybody's interested. Unless you want it, Matthew.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 4K one because might as well get 4K if you have a 4K console.
True. I think for 4K you're going to have to get a PCI Express one though, don't you? Because I don't think... Well, then they might do. I think Elgato might do a USB one. But you're probably better off getting a PCIe Express one. The Elgato 4K 60 Pro is a really good card if you're looking at 4K.
Yeah, I'm having a bit of a nosy at that at the moment. But it's like, I want a capture card so I can play my Xbox, stream the Xbox games,
Yeah.
but gotta save it for uni.
True.
And I don't think the justification on £200 of or plus of capture cards quite goes for uni.
Ah, that's fair.
So I am looking at getting another computer. All my computers are like 1 year old before I replace them at the moment.
Yeah, if you're replacing them every year, then that's not good.
It depends how much money you have. No, basically the one I have now was always intended to be like a little bit of a stop fill. Because
Yeah.
I needed to upgrade for Flight Simulator.
Ah,
Another
yeah.
computer just would not be powerful enough to run it. Because it could just about run Train Sim World at a medium setting.
No, yeah.
And well, it's either a new desktop or a really powerful laptop. I'm sort of stuck between at the moment. Because a high-powered laptop is about £2,000 to do what I want to do.
Yeah. A desktop, I would say, is probably better. If you want portability, a laptop's great, but
Yeah.
I prefer desktop for gaming, to be fair. Hey, Damien, how are you doing today, by the way? Hello and welcome. Hope you're doing well.
Nearly at departure time.
I believe I am arriving into Huddersfield.
Is it a really big station?
I'm not too sure yet. I've not arrived.
Can you check them?
Oh shit, no, I might be at Marsden actually, or Slaithwaite. But then I'm not sure. We're going through a tunnel, and I know there's 2 tunnels in Huddersfield. There's a tunnel at either end at Huddersfield, if I remember correctly, isn't there?
No.
And there's a
2
tunnel
tunnels.
on one end.
There's a tunnel on one end, but there is 2 tunnels on the Manchester end.
It's a bit like Bangor then. A bit.
Their tunnel, Bangor's sat in between 2 tunnels.
Well, yeah, because they built it right into a flipping mountain, didn't they?
Hello, Damien. Just whistling to Senorita. Just gets copyright, trying DMCA. Any takedown. I do like Twitch's email when they sent that up though about the DMCA.
Wait, did
So-
you actually get an email about a DMCA takedown?
No, I didn't.
Oh, thank goodness.
But it was when people was giving it Twitch a lot of stick for it,
Yeah.
and Twitch went, "You want us to explain it?" And here we go.
True, yeah. Like,
It's like I was watching Legal Eagle, and it says if a person or a company issues a DMCA takedown, they have to do it.
yeah.
So it's not real. Twitch is not just doing it for fun.
No, I know. The thing is, I think what the problem was the sheer volume of takedown requests, because basically they were taking the clips, but a lot of people believe, and it's completely false, a lot of people believe if you just use a certain amount of song, you're fine. That is false. You can get a DMCA takedown for 1 second of music. What you're really looking for is whether or not the use of that falls in line with fair use. And that's what a lot of music companies don't really follow.
No.
Does your use of it add value to what you are doing? or are you adding value to the copyrighted material to distinguish it from it slightly?
Which is why I hate takedowns, strikes, or even things being put onto mute because there's music in what is it, a game.
The
It's
mute,
like, okay,
yeah.
if it's a bit like Forza Horizon, I can understand that, because that is literally just music playing out in full. Wow, it's like a radio station pretty much, really.
Yeah.
But if I'm playing Fallen Order, which does have a bit of copyrighted music in it, it's a bit of a mistake, because it adds so much to the game. It's like, come on, for God's sake. I've not done it basic pretty much, but it's like, I've heard of it happening.
Yeah. Damien's just put here, Twitch and YouTube need a better DMCA system that is in favour of the creators who follow the law. YouTube system, I know that this is going to sound very controversial, YouTube system is actually not that bad. Because YouTube, for all its flaws, it doesn't immediately take down the video, and they have significantly improved the claiming system as well.
YouTube's taken someone to court about that as well.
Yeah.
So someone was issuing false takedown notices for copyright.
Yeah, if you issue false takedown notices, then that's illegal, basically.
Yeah, they've taken someone to court about it, and I don't think they're going to be very happy, because that's going to be a lot of money when they lose.
Yeah. Damien, I've not had luck with the YouTube system at all, really, even when I show copyright laws both in the US and the UK. Now, when it comes to the claim system, the biggest problem with the claim system is it's automated. For the most part, it is automated. So it doesn't matter what music you use. If you use music at all in your videos, which you have not got a license to use, that claim bot will just kind of find it, basically, because it follows the content ID. That is pretty much automated. No one's issuing the claims unless it says so. It will say so if the claim was put in manually. A takedown request cannot be done automatically. You must submit a takedown request for a video to be taken down. I've had success with this when someone re-uploaded Instaspeedathon in full on YouTube. I issued a takedown request and YouTube took it down practically straight away when I issued that takedown request. That was a good thing. I told them to take it down. It infringed on my copyright and they took it down, which I appreciate. I'm quite happy to say I have not yet ever received a DMCA takedown request. I have received multiple claims. However, every time I get a claim, I review it. And I try and see if I can dispute it. And thankfully, even if the dispute fails, I'm not given a strike on my channel at the very least, which I do appreciate. But for the most part, when I've issued a claim retraction, it actually gets taken off. Either the claim itself expires because after 30 days of issuing an appeal, it expires and your monetization comes back, or the claimant will review it and take it down accordingly. Damien, well, yeah, it's completely in favour of the copyright holder, really. Of course, you were in full right, but what is in favour of the copyright holder, even if the YouTuber has full rights in the law?
Copyright holders don't care.
Well, yeah, the thing is, a lot of the time, especially when it comes to music labels, it's the music labels that need to change, not necessarily YouTube themselves. YouTube needs to change, absolutely. I'm not giving YouTube a free pass on anything. They need to change their systems as well. But the music labels need to realise that fair use exists and breaking fair use is just as bad as breaking copyright law. Yeah.
There's still this massive ongoing dispute about what is fair use as well. Even listening to Devon Stone, Legal Eagle, it's like fair use is a very, very thin line.
Yeah, Damien just said YouTube needs to make it fair for both parties. I agree with that, yes. But what I will say, the claim system is pretty good. It's the strike system. You have to actually put the claim in for the strike system, so that is always manually reviewed anyway. Whether or not YouTube always favors the strike itself, I'm not 100% sure. But in my case, when I submitted a strike or a takedown notification because I had the legal right to do so, it was taken down. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I understand that. Re-uploading the entirety of Insta-Speedathon is definitely not in phase. Absolutely, yeah. That's why I issued the takedown request in the first place. But, you know, I had every right to do that. The strike system itself, though, it's more the case that obviously someone has to issue the takedown request for it to be taken down. I'm not 100% sure how YouTube deal with those entirely. I have heard they tend to favour the takedown request as opposed to the creator.
Yeah.
Which I think they do need to change. Ooh, there's a passenger service going past.
No, if YouTube suddenly went against the takedown request, it's a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
YouTube will be ending up in court.
True, that's the thing.
Regardless of blame.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's not just fair use that you need to worry about, it's also safe harbor. YouTube is protected by law under safe harbor, whereby whatever is uploaded on YouTube, if it infringes copyright, YouTube have no blame about any of it. That's the problem with the EU's copyright directive. I'll get to that in a minute. Safe harbor basically means anyone who uploads anything to YouTube, if they get a copyright claim or a copyright strike, it's the creator's fault, not YouTube's fault. That is probably why takedowns, YouTube probably has to take something down when they're issued a takedown request. Because under safe harbor, it's a provided you don't know about it, you don't have to do fuck all about it, basically. Which is a very fine way of saying not my problem, if I don't know about it, it's not my problem, kind of thing. But as soon as someone tells YouTube about it, they have to act on it.
The thing is that if you get rid of that law, YouTube, they'll just change the bot to find it and just take down your video regardless of anything.
That is the problem with the EU's copyright directive.
Well,
and
it's
why it's a
copyright directive. It's the same with the US one as well.
There's a US one as well that I think they're bringing in. The EU one is what happened in both the US and the UK have copyright exceptions for parody, caricature, and pastiche. Also, if you provide commentary, something in the US, and laws allow that as an exception too. Fair use is basically if you add value to the copyrighted material with a massive grey area, you should be safe, in a sense.
But in a court of law, UK, European, US, Japanese, whatever, what is adding value?
Yeah, that's the problem. You
can't say I've talked over this music video for the last 5 minutes, so I've added value to it.
Yeah, that's the thing. There was a big court case. It was H3 Productions against someone who made a film. It was like a film about some guy dressed up as a tiger or something. And H3 made a video criticizing the production. And basically what happened was the guy who made the production tried to take down H3's video. And H3H3 took this guy to court, or it was the other way around. I can't remember which way it happened.
It probably was the other way around.
Someone took the other party to court, and the court decided unequivocally that, without exception, H3H3's video complied with fair use. And the copyright holder had to pay H3H3 for the damages caused. That was hilarious. After that, H3H3's gone down in estimation. But that time, that moment in time, was the absolute pinnacle of YouTube. Because someone, a creator, independent creator, finally put a middle finger up to copyright and said, this will happen to you if you don't change.
Well, the thing is that people always go, oh, it's just labels having a go at creators, and copyright holders having a go at creators. But if you don't actually look at it in a full picture, labels have a go at labels.
Yes.
Band artists have a go at artists, because it was Katy Perry's Dark Horse that was taken to court over like 4 notes that repeated. And
I remember that.
And Katy Perry lost the initial one because the jury ruled in favour of the plaintiff. But then a ruling came out at the same time that Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven was not in infringement of another song which had a similar opening.
Yeah.
So Katy Perry went back to court. The representatives of Katy Perry went back to court and won.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to pay out like $40 million in damages.
Which is fair. Damien, on your point there, very quickly, YouTube videos are under US law. YouTube videos are under the law by which the creator is under. So if I make videos, I am bound by UK law. In the US, a US creator is bound by US law. However, every creator is also bound by US law. So you are bound by your country's domestic law and US law. You're bound by both, not one or the other, both. And that is also the reason why there was a lot of criticism under the EU's copyright directive that effectively any creator in the EU would effectively not be able to make videos, or wouldn't be able to really upload things, and probably wouldn't be able to watch videos either if they had copyrighted material in them. You're basically bound by whichever is the most restrictive.
I remember that, and the EU changed that quite quickly, I have to say.
Well, they only changed it because they lost the vote in the parliament.
Yeah. Which is what the vote was really for, because it would be people who represented the countries they come from saying, the people we represent do not want this law. Yeah.
The problem is, obviously, you had some people...
You could have the same in the UK Parliament.
Yeah, some parties actually voted in favour of it, though.
No, you always get some...
Labour, in the UK, Labour voted in favour of it, and the Liberal Democrats voted in favour of it. Conservatives, Plaid Cymru, and I think the Greens voted against it. And also you had UKIP and the Brexit Party that voted against it as well. I don't remember how the SNP voted, though. I think they voted against it as well, because the Greens were generally against it, or the Green Party in the EU were generally against it. Which is interesting, because they're very Europhilic. Oh, this was Huddersfield, by the way. We've just left Huddersfield. Meaning we have 1, 2, 3, 4 stations left before we get to Dewsbury. What were you going to say? Sorry, were you going to say something?
No, I just remember there was an EU law which was coming in, which said brand new lighting, all lighting had to be replaced if it took up this certain amount of power. or amount of energy and things.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
It at the time it included everything to do with stage lighting.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you realize how much money this will cost? Is that a floating tree?
Where?
No, on my route.
Oh. Clip it and find out.
Hit the E-stop. But yeah. It will cost millions just for the smallest of theatres.
Yeah.
To replace every single bit of stock.
True. But then you got Scotland bringing in a hate crime bill, which is basically saying that even if you are in a production, stage production, film production, any production, and you just simply have something which is classed as a hate crime against a particular group, you are liable for damages.
Yeah.
Just for appearing in that production. So any kind of production about World War II under that law would be banned.
Pretty much.
Because you'd be hate criming against Jews. Or if you were to do anything about the slave trade. Or if you were to do anything about racial segregation. Anything educational, because those kinds of productions, I would class them as educational. If you were to appear in them, that's it. You're basically going to court. Which is bollocks.
I haven't heard anything about that bill since that controversy.
Yeah.
I've not heard that it's been repealed.
I've not heard it's been repealed, and I have not heard anything about it since.
Yeah.
Whether they've amended it, I have no idea. But to put effectively film, stage, production people in that law, and to say that if you take part in this, you are liable for damages, was completely stupid. Because nobody watches a stage play and says, ooh, I'm going to hate this group of people now. There might be some people that do, but if there's people that do that, then they're just stupid people. But for the most part, I can't imagine anybody going and watching a stage play and saying they're going to hate a group of people.
Oh, well, I guess I hate this group of people now.
Yeah. Damien, so Damien just said two things I want to get to. Copyright laws, such a broken subject. Copyright laws are a totally balanced game with no exploits.
As Spiffing Brit would say.
I need Spiffing Brit to make a video on copyright laws and say copyright laws are a totally not broken game with no exploits. I don't know. How does he?
He's still trying to break YouTube at the moment, so.
Well, yeah, he's been trying to break the YouTube algorithm by saying, like this post to improve the YouTube algorithm. And then he put a poll up and said, vote in this poll.
Yeah.
Spiffing Brit is great. Well, how does... oh, there we go. How does he title his videos again? I forgot. Because he made a Q&A on Yorkshire Tea, and I watched that. Yeah. Yorkshire Tea is a perfectly balanced game with no exploits.
That's how he tends to title
That's the one. Yeah, perfectly balanced game with no exploits. That's the one. What did you say, sorry?
Unless he does something different.
Yeah. So obviously the complete guide to Great Britain, 100% perfectly accurate guide of how to be British.
Bloody great video.
Great Britain is a perfectly balanced game with no exploits. Damien said you can't damage history. Well, the thing is, that's the thing. History has happened. You can't change the fact that something has happened. Is it a good thing that's happened? Absolutely not. But what can you do? Educate people about what was bad about it and tell people not to fucking do it. That's what history is for.
Someone was triggered about it the other day, because not long ago, because of Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill was racist, whatever. I said, okay, let's try this. Let's take another swing at this subject then. What would you rather, the racist or the fascist? You can't say neither because it's world history, it's happened, and you have to pick one.
Yeah.
Which one do you want? Come on. You're not going to win that situation.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, everyone's bad. Not everyone's perfect. Probably if you go back to the 1700s, it's probably still there too. So
yeah. The thing is, as well, you've got to remember, times have changed. Back then, a lot of people were very, very racist people. And it was probably I don't want to say it was a normal thing, but I hope people know what I mean when I say normal in a quotation marks. Like, it was, you know, I don't want to say normal because
back then
it was
some bizarre reason.
Yeah, it was more acceptable. I wouldn't say it was wholly acceptable because there were a lot of people who probably didn't see it as acceptable at all. But it was more acceptable back then at that time, as was things like homophobism or, you know, prejudice against people who were seen as different in a sense. Obviously, different now is a good thing. Different back then wasn't such a good thing, or at least to a lot of people, it wasn't really a good thing. And prejudice against them was more of a done thing. So yeah, he was racist back then, and today we can condemn that. But that doesn't mean you have to condemn Winston Churchill wholeheartedly based on something that happened 100 odd years ago. You know? Damien, one of the art museums in Liverpool was made because of how guilty and sorry the owner was about being part of the slave sugar trade thing. People change. Exactly. I think there was... Oh, what was it? It was during this time, the time when everyone was taking down statues. There was one guy... There was a statue they took down, and...
Is it the one in Bristol?
I think so, yeah. It was the one in Bristol, I think it was. And the thing is, I can't remember what his name was. I think it was Edward Cullen, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. So, he was part of the slave trade, right? He was a slave trader. Now, what you've got to remember, back then, the slave trade was a thing. The slave trade happened. And it's part of history, right? Was it a good thing? Absolutely not. I don't think anybody will agree with you today if you said the slave trade was a good thing, right? It wasn't. However, it's a part of history. It's a part of something that you should educate people on. Tell people this happened. History is not sunshine and rainbows. It's a massive flipping thunderstorm.
You can't make anything sunshine and rainbows because it might offend one person.
Oh.
The thing is that if you do not teach people the history, the good, the bad, the ugly about a history, what would end up happening is that history just repeats itself.
Yeah, it will repeat itself over and over and over again. Someone just left the train and an identical twin came on the train, which is quite interesting on this. But yeah, so that's the thing. Educate people about it. Tell people that it was wrong. Yes. But you still need to teach people about it. It's still history. Unfortunately, that's what the world is coming to. Cancelling people for the smallest of things. Exactly.
Well, it's quite funny. I was watching Death to 2020.
Yeah.
On Netflix.
The only thing worth cancelling at this point is 2020. We can cancel that. We don't want to remember that.
Death penalty for anyone who mentions it.
Yeah.
Or anyone who thinks it's a good year. But it says, you know, you had this actress who was playing a psychologist. It was really well scripted, I gotta say. It's like, you know, you had the right wing hating the far right hating anybody that you know, just did something. I can't remember what she said about the right.
People say the far right will hate everybody who disagrees with them, but so do the far left. Nobody ever comments about the far left, right?
But the bit I do remember pretty much she said is, and then you get the people on the left who will cancel anyone for taking a dump at the wrong time of the day.
Yeah. You took a dump at 11:55. You should have waited until 12. Cancelled.
But it's the thing. It's like I can understand why some people need to be removed out of the public spot.
Yeah, there are some people that absolutely, in certain like I hate cancel culture. Right, cancel culture is a disease worse than COVID, in my opinion. To an extent. Damon just said you don't cancel 2020, 2020 cancels you. But yeah, cancel culture is a disease, right? It needs to stop. In certain circumstances, I can accept cancel culture. Like if you're cancelling someone who has sexually abused, sexually assaulted, domestic abuse, those kinds of things, cancel culture absolutely 100% agree with you. If it is proven that it A, happened and the perpetrator is found guilty for it. However, don't cancel someone for simply saying something stupid, right? Because there was a guy called Fitz, actually, who recently got cancelled, and he actually gained followers on Twitter from it, which was hilarious. My tweet about it got 100 likes, and I freaking love it. But basically, he got cancelled. I'm not going to say what the word was, because I personally don't really like the word, but I won't get offended by it. I just don't like saying it. There are certain words I just will not say.
Yeah.
At least not without context. Like, there's one word I will never say no matter the context, and I think everybody knows what word that is, because it's banned from my chat anyway. I need to figure out what station we're in, because we're actually coming close to where we're supposed to get off. Oh, bollocks, don't do that. Where am I? Why is there no station signs on this station? That is not helpful. I don't think this was my station anyway. Oh no, there are station signs. Oh no, that was Ravensthorpe, that's fine. We need to get off at the next station. But anyway, the word is noob. Yes, that's the word. Starts with the same letter, but I think I know what people... I think people know which word I will never say. But, okay, there's certain words within context, yes, fair enough. There's certain words within context, I don't mind. But there was a word that Fitz said at some point, and people tried cancelling him for it. And the thing is, right, this is the thing I find really friggin' stupid about cancel culture. It's not the people who are indirectly or directly... It's not usually the people who are actually part of those people who are indirectly being referred to that get offended. It's people on behalf of them that get offended, usually. Which I find really friggin' stupid. Right? That's the thing I find really stupid about cancel culture. Is that people who have nothing to do with it get offended. Right? It's basically made offensiveness a crime. It makes it seem like being offended about anything is now a criminal offence, right? And I goddamn hope offending someone never becomes a crime, because I think I would probably be put in jail for life if that was the case.
No, I don't think we'll ever get to that point.
Thank Christ for that.
Because what ends up happening is you get accountability for everything, and nobody wants to be accountable for everything. So say if I had a difference to opinion when I do my professional work, and someone says, "Oh, cancel," and I can go, actually, I can claim damages from you now because you've got to the point where you've affected my life. You know, my life can't really go on as it was. I've lost a lot of money out of this situation now. If that ever happens, you can pretty much take them to a court and say, this person has falsely accused me of this.
Yeah.
Or this person has taken this to an extreme level of harassment or something like that.
Yeah. That's the thing about cancel culture as well. Technically, and probably legally as well, you would be able to take... If someone's cancelled you for some bogus reason, you could probably take them to court for defamation of character.
Yeah. It's one of those things, it's like... Before you say anything on the internet, it's like, what are all the possible chain reactions from your comment?
Yeah.
Because if you falsely accuse anybody of anything, I'd happily come back after you.
Yeah.
Because I would not be happy at all.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody else who's been falsely accused of anything will be happy.
Yeah.
And I've had that fucking experience.
That's the thing. I do not want to get falsely accused of something which I've never done. At the same time, I wouldn't want one of my friends to be falsely accused of anything as well. But if one of my friends was accused of something, and it's absolutely proven without doubt that they've done it, then, you know, hopefully it never comes to that, because I would not want to be in that situation. Absolutely not. But, you know, like if I heard about it, then I'd be asking questions, but I would probably be behind my friend if it's absolutely 100% provable that it didn't happen. Damon just said the whole Poggers thing annoys me. Is it that they've taken off the PogChamp emoticon? Because whilst I understand Twitch's sentiment and I understand Twitch's rationale behind it, and to some extent I support that in the sense of what has happened. To be fair, I don't think most people would refer PogChamp as that person anyway. I didn't even know who that guy was until it came up on Twitter. I have been accused of calling InstaSim a noob. How outrageous. Yeah, but I can prove that you've done that as well, so I can take it to court and have you done for defamation now. You called me a noob and that's cancelled me on Twitch.
One of the best things is that some people say, well, it's not defamation, it's freedom of speech, but it's like, if you're going to court for defamation, your freedom of speech, it does not really count anymore.
No.
That's the bit people take freedom of speech far too literally now. That's one of the issues. Is that there's, especially on social media.
Problem is, right?
There's a big difference.
Freedom of speech.
If I say Boris Johnson's a freaking useless prime minister, or slightly more harsh, because I'm not going to swear on stream. Really, I'm going to try and avoid swearing on stream.
I mean, I've done it enough times. It's fine. We're in 12 territory. I've F-bombed once.
I could say Twitch is the worst streaming service ever.
Yeah.
And Twitch can't do fuck all about it because it's freedom of speech.
The thing is, right?
We can talk about copyright laws as well. You know?
Yeah, we can talk about copyright laws and how dumb they are and how they need to be updated. But yeah, the thing is, right? When it comes to freedom of speech, a lot of people take it. First of all, a lot of people take it way too literally in the sense that you can literally say anything you want, which is technically correct. Technically, you can say anything you want, but it's not without consequence, because there's also freedom of consequence and there's also freedom of. You've got freedom of opinion. You can think whatever the hell you want, but you've also got freedom of consequence. Whatever you say will have consequences.
As a lawyer would say, on freedom of speech, it depends what you've put.
Yeah. If you said something really, really bad, then your freedom of speech. Well, so yes, you have the right to say it. You could probably be taken to court for that, depending on what's presented. If it's really, really bad. I'm not gonna say what could be really, really bad, because that's probably gonna get me banned off Twitch or something. But yeah. Right, I need to sort out this pop filter, so there's gonna be a bit of noise coming through the mic for a second, guys.
What have you done with your pop filter?
It's not screwed in properly for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Screwed in properly?
I'll show you it. Hold on.
I can't see it.
No, I'll show it now. So this is the mic. You guys might not hear me very well at the moment. And on the other side is the pop filter with a nice Rode logo on it. It screws basically into the shock mount here, and it just wasn't screwed in properly. So I had to just tighten it a little bit. But it's fixed now, don't worry. Crisis averted.
Oh, fine.
The issue with the US First Amendment rights, Legal Eagle said himself, it's not without consequence. I've actually started watching Legal Eagle, and honestly, I'm hooked.
It's addictive.
It is addictive, and I was like, holy shit. I mean, I mostly watched the ones where he was actually looking at court proceedings from different films, and I watched the B movie one, and he was basically saying you cannot sue the entire human race.
That's what the far left is planning to
do. So basically, B movie, he was like, obviously the thing was saying like, what was it? Vanessa was saying, I'm helping him sue the human race, and then legally was like, you cannot sue the human race. Now you can literally sue anyone or anything you want, but there are exceptions, and the human race is one of them. That was hilarious. And I think I also watched the video he made on Legally Blonde. Don't ask me why, but it was hilarious, the video he made on it.
How much you want Jurassic Park? And what else though? Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, I think I seen that one as well, because it was saying like how Willy Wonka. That one was hilarious because of everything that went on. He'd be done for contamination. You know, that was hilarious.
The one thing I did find interesting though is that you have to be able to read the full contract of anything. So therefore, if you're struggling to read a section because the font is too small,
yeah,
that contract, even if you sign it, is void. On the person's part of who did the contract. Because how the bloody hell are you meant to read it?
Oh, we have a female driver on this one. Hello. I like the representation. I will give him that. Like, I know this probably sounds like left wing stuff and stuff. I'm not left wing, by the way, guys, but I like diversity. Diversity's cool. Diversity's good in certain circumstances. Like, there are certain circumstances where people just take diversity way too far, but you know, diversity of representation is a good thing. And I'm more than happy to admit that. This train is packed.
Is it?
Yeah. Everyone keeps complaining, right? I see this a lot. On Train Sim World, people complain there's not enough passengers. And look at this! The train's full.
Well, it depends on what time of the day you spawn in.
It's 8:30.
So it's rush hour.
Kinda, yeah.
That's what Matt said. It's like, well, what time have you spawned in? You're not going to have a full platform at 4 in the morning.
No, that's true. Right, I need to pop to the loo, so I will be back in like 2 minutes or so, but we will hopefully not be at Huddersfield in 2 minutes, so I won't be long.
I'm just pulling into New Haven town at the moment. So... try and get the stopping right. It's a bit of a pain here, especially with an 8-car train, because it's far too long. And door release. Control. There we go. I'm looking forward for the passenger information screens to be working again. Well, again, they weren't working to begin with. But something that, fingers crossed, will just be that extra little detail that's missing. And an upgraded version comes in with the next Train Sim World 2 route. As another ECS service arrives, empty coach in stock. Southeast, next on East Coastway. And just Oops, speeding. Forget how quick the 377 can accelerate sometimes. And the speed goes up just at this bit here, so into 4, speeds up.
Okay, I'm back. Oh, where are we? Oh, we're at Ravensthorpe. The basically this station looks like a death trap.
Just as mentioned to Damien, yeah, there's a few ways they can implement it. They've actually, this is the passenger information displays, by the way, on the East Coast Way. They actually built the system in already.
Yeah.
But they didn't have the time to actually fully build the displays. So all they have to do really is just adjust them slightly to fit with all the new programming for it.
Yeah, this is the thing. This is what I really like about Dovetail is basically level crossings and passenger information displays in particular, right? They've basically built them to support the features already, basically. Yeah. They've already basically supported the features in them all. It's just a matter of figuring out how to get it working, which I do appreciate. Damien, they should send a patch update, and they do actually. They do send patch updates quite regularly.
Should be getting one quite soon, actually.
Yeah, there's 2 issues with it though. Firstly, well, actually, there's a few issues with it. The first thing is time, and obviously, Dovetail and not a very big company.
Slightly bigger than Microsoft.
Yeah. Slightly bigger than Microsoft. That very tiny company, Microsoft, you know. Like Dovetail, they're not a very big company. I think when I looked last, they have like 120. Not this convo again. It's a bit like every time I talk about Labour in the Welsh government. Every time I play Portal 2. It's about it's about that. It's about as often as that at this point. And Davis is like, not again. But hey, we got an election coming up in May, you know.
Currently we have an election coming up in May.
Yeah, things could change. I hope they do. I doubt they will. But we'll see. But yeah, anyway, enough of that for a moment. There's a few issues with Dovetail. Down with Mark, down with Mark. Yes, Mark Drakeford can get in the bin as far as I'm concerned. I'm allowed to say that. I've got freedom of speech, but obviously Mark Drakeford could also tell me to get in the bin as well if he wanted to, and I'd be perfectly fine with that. I tell him why I was wrong, but he's with perfectly... You know, Mark Drakeford, if you're watching this stream and you want to tell me to get in the bin, that's perfectly fine. Do it. I don't care. It's not going to offend me.
Do it.
Do it. Mark Drakeford, I demand you tell me to get in the bin right now if you want me to vote for you. I'm not going to vote for you anyway, but it'll be funny. MD, get in the bin.
Get sued for defamation.
Get sued for defamation. Nah, I wouldn't do that. I mean, I really couldn't care less what he said about me, to be fair. Provided he doesn't, like, accuse me of something that I've not done, obviously. Like, if he just tells me to get in the bin, I wouldn't mind. Because that's just hilarious. But anyway, back into context. Dovetail, problem number 1. They're a small company. I think they have like 120 employees, I think.
Across the board?
Yeah, that's across the board. So that's including HR, directors, obviously the developers, you've got the preserved crew, and every single department within Dovetail. 120 employees. I think I remember. I think Matt Pedleston said something that about half of them are developers. So you're looking at 60 odd developers.
But then you got 2 franchises as well.
Yeah. You got the 2 franchises, you've got the fishing franchise, you've got the train franchise, and
Which
even that's segregated as well, because you've got the people working on fish, and you've got the people working on trains, and then the trains is separated again, because you've got some people working on Train Sim World, and the others working on Train Simulator. So 60 people, let's say there's 50-50 among the two franchises. You've got 30 working on Fish, 30 working on Trains, and that's even segregated again. You've got 15 maybe working on Train Sim World, and the other 15 working on Train Simulator.
I'm just a bit split on Train Sim, still working on Train Sim Classic. It's a bit sort of to the point now of like, do you just let that go?
At this moment in time, I think what I'm seeing anyway is third parties are taking over the development a lot, because I'm seeing less and less of actual first party DLC coming onto Steam, which I think is not a bad thing, because not all third parties are going to be developing for Train Sim World straight away. I'd really like Just Trains to develop for Train Sim World at some point though. But obviously they're not going to be doing it straight away. But what I am seeing is third parties taking over a lot of the development at the moment, which I think is a good thing.
One thing that the sort of future for Dovetail is pushing Classic aside, for me anyway, and focusing straight on to an open world train sim and getting more content out for that.
I don't know if an open world train sim is actually a good idea. I think the way they've done it with Train Sim World, I mean it's open world to an extent. Like, you can obviously be a passenger or you can be a driver. I think this is about where I would expect Dovetail to make open world, because they make long routes. Well, at least when you compare other simulators, their routes are 1-to-1 scale. It takes you an hour and a half to get from Manchester to Leeds in real life, and it does in the game as well.
That's what I sort of meant by open world, is that
you're
not sort of bound by a restriction. Such as only being the train.
Like, I don't think it could happen. I'm not saying it won't happen at all, but I don't think Dovetail would ever make a route where it's practically the entire UK in one route. It'd be amazing to see, but I don't think, one, I don't think they'll make it, and two, I don't think anyone will buy it.
That file size though, that's the thing.
1-to-1 scale of the UK, that would be weird.
Well, there is a 1-to-1 scale of the UK.
True.
Can you guess the game?
Train Sim Classic?
No.
Oh wait, no, it's ETS2, is it? No,
No, that's not the 1-to-1.
Oh, Minecraft. Someone made 1-to-1 of the UK in Minecraft, didn't they?
There's another game.
You've lost me then.
Flight Simulator.
Ah, shit, yeah, Flight Simulator. I forgot about that.
Which game ranks put as #1 open world game. It's like, well, no shit there.
Can you actually walk around though?
No.
Exactly. So I wouldn't really call it full open world, because you're kind of restricted to driving airplanes. But then again, who would walk from Sydney to London?
But it's then, what do you class as open world? Do you just walk everywhere, or can you fly everywhere? Because you could argue that flying is open world.
Damien, I have a few things that he said in the chat. I'll just read out. A good song explaining defamation would be PewDiePie's Congratulations. I agree with you there, because that was... I actually liked that song, actually. That was a really good song. But yeah.
I've not heard the song yet.
It basically, He's obviously he lost the 1 billion subscribers to T-Series quite a long time ago. Or was it? No, not 1 billion subscribers, 100 million subscribers, sorry. And obviously he congratulated T-Series, but also kind of made it a parody song, in the sense that he was basically calling them out for doing stuff, like uploading pirated songs and stuff.
Oh, right.
Whether or not that's true, I have no idea, but...
It's hard to know.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Another thing. Actual open world simulators aren't the best of ideas. Some sims pull it off, but open world train sim doesn't seem good. I think the way that Dovetail have done it here, it's not necessarily open world, because you're obviously bound by the restrictions of the map that you're actually on. But the way they've done it here is actually good. So in a train simulator, you're looking at, you can drive the trains, you can actually be kind of a guard in a sense.
Yeah, the feature's not there at the moment.
It's not quite there, but you can open and close the doors from various places on some trains, which is pretty cool. I would call this open world-esque. Like, it's not open world in the sense of you have no restrictions at all. You're bound by the map, but you can basically be the driver, the guard in some cases, but I hope they actually develop a guard mode. Eventually they might do a fireman mode if they have steam trains, I don't know. And also you can be a passenger as well, like I'm being right now. So you can basically play it how you want rather than just driving trains like on Train Simulator. But that's about where open world on Train Sim World ends. You can't go outside of the map, for example.
Well, I'd say this map is bigger than pretty much the majority of maps that are out there.
Yeah.
So, you know, Southeast Coastway is probably bigger than Fallout 4.
Yeah, probably.
And that's an open world game.
Yeah.
I could walk from, if I really wanted to, Brighton to Eastbourne.
You could. And I could walk from Manchester to Leeds. It would take ages, but I could do it. Let's have a look. Damien, yeah, flight sim and farming sim are exceptions. Like, again, you're kind of bound by maps. Okay, flight simulator, you're not quite. But again, you can't walk around the map in that. So again, I think that's where the restrictions start, is where you can't walk around the map. You can fly everywhere, though.
Does open world mean you have to walk?
Not necessarily, no, but I would say open world is you have as little restrictions as possible, in a sense. Like, you're obviously restricted in Train Sim World by the map, but within the map you can do whatever you like. In Flight Simulator, you're bound by the fact that you have to be flying an aeroplane, but as far as the game goes, you can literally go anywhere you want, and you can do whatever you like within that kind of scope. Farming Simulator, again, you're bound by the map that you're in, but you can virtually go anywhere you want. Train simulators, you're essentially limited to everything inside a box or room. An open world is a game mechanic of using virtual world that the player can explore and approach objectives freely, as opposed to a world with more linear and structured gameplay. Again, in that case, Flight Simulator might not quite be seen as that open world type thing, because you're kind of bound by the linear path of your flight, in a sense.
Not really. I can fly from... I've flown Harden, Wrexham to Holyhead, then that's not on a flight path. That's not bound by anything. That's something I chose to fly. I can fly from London to Sydney, just calling it Singapore, or non-stop if I wanted to. There's a lot. It's understanding the game that sort of makes
things
fair. Okay, at the moment, Train Sim is a bit linear. Get on, drive a train.
But you can also be a passenger. You can basically go anywhere you want. It's not necessarily linear in that sense, though, I would say. In my opinion, that's just what I would think.
I'd say it's sort of still kind of linear, because you only have the two things you can do at the moment. You can be a passenger or drive.
Yeah.
But once, I would say, Steam comes in if they have a fireman mode.
Yeah.
Once they have like a guard mode and all those things start coming in, it's where the gameplay starts to become diverse.
Yeah.
Even multiplayer.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
But then again, I personally never really thought of Train Sim World anyway as an open world. Okay, oh wait, am I not able to go this way? Ah shit, no, I have to go up here. Never mind. Like, I never personally considered Train Sim World as open world, like fully open world anyway. Like, you can do different things in the game. But again, I like it though. It is a nice difference to Train Simulator, for example. It is linear. Think of it as an RPG. You're filling in a role, only going what is present. Yeah, in a sense, I can agree with you on that. Yeah, I can see where that comes from. Yeah. Right. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was going back to what the problems with patching this game are. Second, so Dovetail is a small company. I've explained that. We need to come back to this because I need to finish answering this. The second problem you have with patching this game is it's on the Unreal Engine. And basically when you patch anything on the Unreal Engine, it likes to download the entire thing again. Right, so if you've got a 5 gig game, and you patch one thing, you're downloading the entire 5 gigabyte game again.
I don't think it does that.
It does do that.
Matt explained... I remember Matt explaining it on stream. Basically what happens is that, say if you change a file, you know, just you have a big, like, I don't know, AWS file.
Yeah.
And you change one small document, whatever, in that file. It will download just that file again. It don't, otherwise, if you had to download the entire game again.
Not the entire game. It's like even if it's a DLC, if it's a change within the DLC, you download the DLC again. But the problem with Unreal Engine, it's a fantastic engine, but the way things are packaged is absolutely horrendous. And if you've ever gone into the game files of any Unreal game, you'll know why. Effectively, everything is within a PAK file, a pack file, and effectively, because everything DLC wise, everything that is basically packaged is inside that file. You can't change things individually inside of it. Not from Steam, anyway. Certainly not from Steam. That's why the file sizes are much bigger. Right. So if you changed one thing, fixed one thing inside, and they mentioned this on another stream. I don't know if you were watching that stream, but they mentioned it in a different one.
There was Sam saying, would you like hundreds of small little updates?
Yeah.
Constantly coming through, or would you just like one big update?
Exactly. So there is that issue as well, where you change one thing, and you're basically the minimum file size download, and I think it was Adam that's mentioned this. The minimum file size download is the size of the file you're updating, basically. So if you're updating a DLC pack, that is the minimum file size you're going to be downloading every single time. So, to make it better, it's better to have multiple things in one file updated, so that basically the file size is the same for all the updates, rather than you having the same file size every single time for tiny little updates. Third problem, consoles. Effectively, because the game is on consoles, and Sony and Microsoft are very strict in terms of when you can actually release things like updates, they have to basically package them differently, in the sense that if there's an update, again, because of the way Sony and Microsoft are, you can't just have updates, 5 updates every day, because Sony and Microsoft will not allow it. You have to have one update every now and again. And because of that, and because Dovetail, for all intents and purposes, I kind of agree and disagree on this one, but they want to be equal between the consoles and the PC version. Obviously, they don't release updates very often. However, when they do, they release a lot of things in one update, because of the Unreal issue and because of the console thing. If they were just releasing it on PC, they could literally update it every day if they wanted to. But, you know. Ooh, I got a local hold service now.
I don't actually know a developer that just shares things equally. Because I always know from my other games, that patches for PC and console come out at different times.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, consoles, they release things at midnight local time. On Steam, it's always 10 o'clock in the morning in Pacific time.
Which is why everything's always like 5 PM or something.
Yeah.
Sometimes it says this game comes out at like 5 p.m. and you
Yeah.
log in at 2 p.m. and it's downloading and you can play it.
Yeah, that's true. That can happen sometimes.
Because that's happened to quite a few.
Should we go into first class?
Is that first class?
There's a first class on this. It's
Even
local
if
hold.
Oh, that's why.
Ah! Let me come in.
Denied.
Right. We've got compartments in here. Let's have a look. Is there an empty one? What else is there an issue with? So it was dovetail size is not very big. There is also consoles. There's also Unreal. Damon just said doing it equally sounds inefficient.
Kind of is.
Kind of is, yeah. There's that as well. What other issue is there? Well, there's a lot of things they need to change. That's another issue with them as well. There's so many things that everybody's commenting on. It gets quite ridiculous, and it's kind of like, how do you prioritize things to ensure that you get the right thing out, sort of thing.
Oop, crap. The speed on their reporting with ticket reports could do with improving.
Yeah, that's true.
I've still not heard anything back about my sand patch grade issue.
Yeah.
Well, they've acknowledged that there's invisible walls on sand patch grade.
Yeah.
And they've not done anything about it.
Yeah, I think it's a case of figuring out where they are. What else? It's
not even on the road map. That's the most annoying thing.
Yeah. What else was the problem with patch updates as well? I can't remember. Yeah, Damien said that's more of a support team issue. You can't get the staff these days. Yeah.
The other issue I have with this is with how Dovetail's decided to release their patches, is that they go, so you have like a German patch, a patch with German roots in, and a patch with the American roots, and a patch with the British roots. It's a bit like, just patch the roots. If it's there, ready to go, don't go, we can do it in 2 weeks. No, because sometimes that patch means something.
There is also, I think, a lot of the issue with that as well is the Unreal issue I mentioned earlier. If you're updating one thing from each pack, it has to download the entire pack, every single pack again. So if you got 3 5GB packs to update, that's a 15GB download.
Well, it's not as bad as Call of Duty's ridiculous downloads you can get with it's coming up to 30GB.
True. I mean, I've had worse. I think Gran Turismo on PlayStation 3 was once had like 17 updates in one thing, and it took about a day to. But that was when I had terrible internet, obviously. And we had to leave the PlayStation on for an entire day just to update it, because PlayStation 3 wouldn't allow you to play the game until it was actually updated.
No, Xbox is the same. But I'm on Virgin Media, so it's all right.
We were on BT at the time, but it was 2 megabits download and it was atrocious. So we had to leave the PlayStation on all day, and nobody used the internet whilst it was downloading because of how big it was.
Oh,
it was ridiculous.
Painful.
It was awful. I'm so glad we have fibre optic at home now, honestly. What else did I want to say? There was something else about Dovetail as well. Why they can't just release patch updates all the time. Size of the company, Unreal Engine and consoles. And there was something else I wanted to mention as well, but I can't remember what it was.
Well, for all of Dovetail's flaws anyway, they have got a lot better.
Yeah.
From Train Sim 1, Train Sim World 1 to this.
Yeah.
There's actually communication.
Dovetail have improved significantly over the years as well. Yeah, definitely. Especially over this last year. This last year they were Like, before Train Sim World 2, I think they were probably going down the shitter, and now they've actually figured out the flaws, and they're still in the process of, they haven't quite finished, but they are ironing them out, which I do appreciate.
And not only that, it's made the community happier.
Yeah.
It's people are more willing to pay for DLC now because there's that communication there.
Yeah. Oh, I remember what the other point I wanted to make was money. As much as I do not want to talk about this, money is a big thing about patch updates. You release an update, you get nothing for it, basically. If you release nothing in the software industry, and this is what a lot of people don't really realise. Damien, I know you're not one of these that will not realise it, because I know you will understand this perfectly fine. A lot of people just don't, and it sickens the hell out of me, because the amount of people who misunderstand this. In the software industry, prices in a sense are artificially inflated for one reason only. You release nothing in the software industry, you get nothing. You get no money at all. You can be developing something. Can you repeat that point about money? Yeah, so it's the obviously in the software industry, if you release nothing, you get nothing. You can still be developing something, like they could be developing a new route or updates. That still costs money. But if they release nothing, they get nothing, basically. Until they've released it, they won't get any money for it. They will get no profit, no nothing. Basically. And that's the thing about the software industry, is that it is such a volatile market. Well, yeah, that's the thing, Damien. Spend money to make money. But the software industry is like that. Developing costs are ridiculously high, and the return on investment is often ridiculously low, because you've got to figure out where your selling point is, or where your break-even point is, to actually make a profit. That's why Dovetail stuff tend to be quite expensive. It's because they spent a lot of time making something, and they have to get a return on that investment. And oftentimes you're not going to get the return on investment if you put the price down to about $5. But yeah, that's one massive issue about software, is that, and definitely the games industry, the software industry, just in general. You release nothing, you get nothing. But you still paid money, you've still paid for your staff, paid for the research, paid for the development costs and everything like that, and stuff like that. Have CD Projekt Red broke even? I have no idea. I do not have a copy of Cyberpunk 2077. If I'm completely honest, I wasn't really interested in getting the game anyway, so I'm probably not going to. It looked like a pretty good game, and I think people have been a bit too critical, in my opinion, because yeah, the game wasn't quite as good as it could have been when it released. What the issue happened there, I have no idea. But from what I've heard, the PC version is perfectly fine.
Apart from all the bugs.
Huh?
Apart from all the bugs.
Yeah, apart from some of the bugs. But again, bugs can be fixed quite simply. But generally speaking, the game itself seemed to work fine on PC from what I've heard. I've not really heard anyone who's had issues apart from now. Damien just said that his PC won't be able to support it at the moment, which is fair. What else was I going to say? But the console version of the game was absolutely horrendous, apparently.
Apparently the Xbox Series X one is okay.
I would imagine the PlayStation 5 version would be okay as well, possibly.
Yeah, I can imagine that one being good as well. Just last generation consoles are not faring so well.
Yeah.
I can imagine they released it in that state because it was not just pressure from people who've ordered the game, but also the worst thing is that it's an investment board. You know, the board. We want you to release this game. There's too many delays, and then they go, "Why did you release the game with so many bugs?" It's like,
exactly. It's
do you
often
know how this works?
It is often the board of directors that basically say, if you don't release this game, that's it. We're cutting off our investment completely. If they had, it's the same with Dovetail. If they had the time to do things perfectly fine, you'd have a flawless game. That's the problem with Dovetail, and it's always been the problem with Dovetail.
I think Dovetail have changed their tone since West Coast Mainline itself.
Yeah, they have definitely changed it now. West Coast Mainline now, at least London Euston, because it used to look drab. London Euston, West Coast Mainline South now. I bought the game. I bought it yesterday, by the way, and I have proof of this. I haven't got screenshots, but I have proof, and I will be streaming it as well, very soon. But I have proof beyond doubt. The London Euston in the game right now, at this moment in time, is far, far better than what it was when it released. In fact, it's so good, it looks like it's practically been remodeled. There are posters on the plinths in the middle of the station.
What posters are they?
I don't know, I can't remember. But there are posters there, and at the back, you know, at London Euston itself, you have that thing with a sign on the top that says "Welcome to London Euston." You go underneath that and through it to where the gate lines are. That's modelled in it now as well. Obviously, at the end of that, they haven't really modelled past that because they don't really need to. You're not gonna go there really, but yeah. Right, I'm just gonna go through some of the chat really quickly. Support team issue, we've gone through that already. With Windows, you had to install an update to then install the next update to install the next update and so on. They still kind of do it. Yeah, Windows updates are ridiculous.
Ridiculous is a bit of an understatement.
Yeah. A YouTuber I watched had to get the PS4 version on his PS5 to brute force Cyberpunk to work. It barely works on PS5 apparently. Well, that's interesting because the architecture of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X is pretty much the same. There must be a problem there.
It's subtle different. One thing I found quite funny is that Ubisoft. I like Ubisoft, but God, they can break a game sometimes.
I'm not a fan of Ubisoft games.
I play Ghost Recon a lot, so that's where I get.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I've never played. Well, I might have played a little bit, but not much. I've never played an Assassin's Creed game. I've never played Watch Dogs. I've never played Ghost Recon. I've never played. The only Ubisoft game I've really played and I've actually quite enjoyed was Driver San Francisco. That was pretty fun. I have played various other Ubisoft games in the past as well. Like I'm not completely not non-Ubisoft in that sense. Like I have played some Ubisoft games in the past, but I've never played Assassin's Creed. I've never played the top well-known type of Ubisoft games really.
Tom Clancy stuff.
Yeah, I've never played Tom Clancy either.
Yeah, one thing they did is that they released an enhancement patch for next generation. So not sure if it was PS5 and Xbox or just the Xbox that got it. But it's like, this patch is so great. Everything's so smooth, so clear on it. And then they released another patch and it broke the game. Well, it didn't entirely break it, but what would happen, from what I could tell and what I was reading online, is that the game would just start stuttering for no reason.
Yeah.
And when you're in combat, I think it turned out to be the aim assist was getting really confused, and instead of locking onto an enemy, onto a target would just crap out and crash.
Fair enough.
The entire game, which was quite interesting. Took them a while to patch, but we got there eventually, and it's now playable again. So well done, Ubisoft.
Damien, I'm never again playing a Ubisoft game on PC. Their launcher logs me out all the time and will not let me play the game I bought from Steam, saying I don't own it. Interesting.
That is the best bug of all time. At least Steam has refunds.
Yeah.
Which, I was pushing the limits when I refunded the M7, not the M7, the M3 and the DBBR 204.
Yeah.
For having 2 hours and 4 minutes of game time. It's just kind of pushing the limits. Though I think they changed it slightly after Microsoft Flight Simulator. And the fail that was at launch.
Yeah.
Because installing it would start... To install Microsoft Flight Simulator, you have to start the game. And that counts as game time.
Right.
which is quite funny. I was alright, because I had fibre optic, so it just installed within the hour. For other people, it's taken like 3 to 4 hours to install.
Well, yeah. I think there really needs to be a way for Steam to log what you've actually done. Like, they have got you can get a refund within 2 weeks, provided you've not played more than 2 hours of it. But I think what they really should do is, you can get a refund within 2 weeks, generally, in most cases, regardless of how long you've played it for, because I think the 2 hours clause is a little bit... It's just a little bit, you know, thingy. Plus the thing is, when you do a refund through Steam, it just takes it off your account anyway. So, you don't have access to it, you can't play it. There are occasions where you could probably buy the game, find a way to pirate it and not have to have it through Steam to play it, and there are cases where that has happened. Fair enough, I understand that, but I think the 2 hours clause is a little bit just not enough, really. Like, if you played 24 hours of it, yeah, fair enough, you played quite a long time of it. After that point, if you don't like it, then tough shit. But yeah,
you can't play the entire game and refund it.
Yeah, you can't play the entire game and refund it. But 2 hours, in my opinion, is just not enough in a lot of cases. Unless you're playing something like FIFA, which you can finish in half an hour.
Well, for DLCs, it's quite hard because it adds up the time you've been in game with that DLC. And
yeah.
So, like, oh, come on.
Damien, I tried the refund, didn't work. This was about 2 to 3 years ago. Yeah, I think they've definitely revamped the refund system since. I've never actually had a refund off Steam, funnily enough.
I've had plenty of refunds.
Yeah. I've never asked for a refund.
I've not actually had any declined.
That's good.
So, I'm quite pleased with that. Yesterday was the one where it's a bit like, is this going to decline or something? Because I've had too much game time in it. Surprisingly, it went through.
Yeah. I think they probably have it so that if you've played it for more than 2 hours, we might just review it or something. I have no idea what they're going to do. But
I just put that it's not fun. To be fair, I didn't really enjoy the M3. And I thought the
that was interesting.
DB thing was a bit too disappointing for $11.99.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one of the DB shunters for $11.99, but that had 13 services and was quite enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because the services were like an hour long for shunting, whereas the 7 services weren't quite as long as I was expecting them to be.
Yeah.
Well, I was quite disappointed with the fact that it was 7 services. If it had 10 plus, I'd have been quite happy.
Yeah. Damien has put 2 things in the chat. I'll just read them out very quickly. When he played Among Us, he left his PC on to install the game whilst he was asleep. I left Among Us open opened on the menu and it counted as game time. Yeah, I think Steam really needs to figure out a way of figuring out if you've actually played a game, rather than just have you open the game and just left it open. Because I think there needs to really be a way to figure out, has it actually been played or has it just been on the menu for a while?
One thing I'm wondering with Among Us, because it's a game I'd like to play with everyone, is that if I get it on Xbox, can I still play with everybody?
I think so, because crossplay has been a thing for some time now, hasn't it?
Because it's still the PC version. That's the thing. It's still the PC version of it.
Yeah.
It's on Xbox Game Pass and it's free.
Yeah, David just said it's fully crossplay.
Sweet, so I can get it for free. Nice.
Yeah. I do want to get Among Us as well, actually. I've just not had a chance to get it yet. I've been quite busy and I've not.
What are you on about? It's not a chance to get it. It's $3.99.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It's like
I'm poor. I can spend $17.99 on Train Sim DLC, but not $3.99 on a new game.
It's a bit like when you go buy a game for your console or PC. Just 50 quid, yeah. Phone app, £1.
Yeah.
That one. To be fair, one of my phone apps is £50, so I'm not sure. I can't
Fair
quite
enough.
that.
I mean, the video editor I use is worth £300, so you know.
It still doesn't beat my £50 phone app, which I haven't used since last year. So there we go.
Fair enough. Damien's put a few things in the chat saying Steam should have a library API where game creators can set when the game is actually being played instead of being on a menu. Yeah, I would absolutely love it if they had something like that, because rather than just counting of when you've actually started the game, you're actually counting when you've played the game, which, in my opinion, makes sense. But yeah, well, I guess it's something for Steam to look into, because I think something like that would necessarily be needed, especially at this time, especially with the amount of issues people have had with games lately. Because it's been Cyberpunk, Flight Sim.
Well, Flight Sim's sorted itself out now, thankfully.
Yeah.
But then again, they have the budget for it.
I mean, you had Train Simulator with West Coast Mail. It seems that this year's just been shit for every game in general, because for some reason everyone's been having game-breaking bugs and stuff for some reason. Okay, Train Simulator wasn't necessarily game-breaking, but it just wasn't enjoyable when it first released, or at least the West Coast Mainline, I should say.
No, what you're on about there is a Train Sim PowerPoint edition.
Yes, Train Sim PowerPoint edition.
15 frames a second.
Yeah.
With your RTX 2080 Ti graphics card.
Pretty much.
Which is quite interesting. It's like, how the fuck do you manage that?
Yeah. You'd probably need a NASA computer to run that, and even then you'd probably only get like 30 frames per second.
Average frame a second of 2. I remember I was trying to do the 24-hour flight from London to Sydney, and my GPU decided, you know what? No.
Yeah.
And decided to shut itself down, and just do 5 frames a second. That's quite interesting.
I'm turning the train lights off before I go off. Haha. Darkness. Nah, jokes. I'm not gonna be nasty. David said, only issue with Among Us is the chat function. You're best playing it with friends on Discord or something. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be. I never use chat functions in games anyway, apart from Minecraft, but yeah.
Who sits there and types?
Exactly.
Put in sus because you can't spell suspicious.
Yeah. Mega sus.
Mega sus.
I think sus is actually the Welsh word for kiss, so. Or at least the slang, anyway. Hey, where's Stevie?
We were at the theatre, we wanted to play Murder again. And it's like, everyone's like, well, we can't do it because of COVID, because of course. You can't really murder someone at 2 meters.
I'm just gonna stab you from 2 meters away and you're just gonna fall over and die.
I said if we do a full production run, we should all get a laptop and we should all get our own laptops and play Among Us.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
We can all sit in our show positions and.
Right, couple more chat messages real quick. David said, hey, 15 frames per second is still good. I should probably have clarified. 15 frames per second was the maximum frame rate you'd get. It would often dip to something like 8 or 9 frames per second. So 15, it wasn't that 15 was the frame rate. 15 was the maximum frame rate. But to be fair, when I was playing it yesterday, I was getting the typical train simulator frame rate I tend to get, which is hovering somewhere between 30 and 60, so it wasn't that bad, to be fair, when I was playing it yesterday.
The worst thing is that you can't limit the frame rate.
Yeah, you cannot limit the frame rate in train simulators. You can in TSW. I just have it on maximum because I like playing it at good frame rates, but train simulator, like I tend to get somewhere between 30 and 60. And it works quite alright.
The worst thing is that when because it's unlimited.
Yeah.
And it's train sim 1 because it's shite. For its engine anyway. You get like 150 frames a second. And then you get into this area and it drops to 30 and your eyes go, no.
Yeah. And I think the funniest thing is you get like 350 frames per second in the start menu.
What do you mean 350? I get like 1,000 frames per second. My graphics card is screaming for the amount of frames. Release.
That's what I find hilarious. You get like ridiculous frame rates in the menu. Or if you load into the editor and you just look on the bottom, it like hovers at like 900 frames per second without nothing on there.
I don't know what's
right. I'm just gonna go over the other chat things. Damon just said red is kiss. Yeah, pretty much. I should probably mention sus in Welsh is spelled SWS. So yeah. Facebook's. Oh, carry on.
Don't misspell it in the chat then.
Yeah, red is kiss. FB support right now. Thanks for contacting us. It looks like you might be reporting something that we can't directly support from here, but that doesn't mean you can't get help. Thanks for sending me on a 2-week loop to only tell me this, Facebook. Jesus Christ. Facebook support is trash. Honestly. I reported 2 scam pages, right? Because it was at this time before Christmas where they were saying, if you like and share this post, we'll send you a free hamper of chocolate or Morrison's food or something. And it was like, this is obviously a scam, right? I saw 2 friends who posted these. I'm not going to say who they were for GDPR reasons, but I saw 2 friends who posted these on Facebook, right? I reported both pages. The Morrison's page thankfully got taken down quite quickly. The Cadbury's one, which I saw not long after, I reported it and Facebook said there was nothing wrong with it. No word of a lie. That's what they said. How shocked are you about that?
Pretty shocked.
Facebook themselves, after reviewing that page that I reported, said there was nothing wrong with it. Facebook, I don't care if you're not watching this or if you're watching this, right? Someone can clip this as well if they want to. Sort out your scam reporting system now.
One of the best things I seen was for a scam page was the DVLA one. Like, send us the photo and money, and we'll get you your pass certificate for theory and driving practicals.
Yeah, I've seen so many things saying, "Oh, you can get a free driver's license with the DVLA." Yeah. Every time I see one of them, I just report it for scam because it's a scam.
Yeah. I just left this one on Facebook. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because they took a photo of their driver's license.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yes. What you do is you put a photo of your face, your name, your full name, your date of birth, and your address on it. That's the best idea possible.
Excellent. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
But yeah, Facebook needs to sort out its scam reporting. The amount of scams that have been happening. And I'm willing to bet a lot of them probably happen through Facebook because of their absolutely shit system in dealing with it. Facebook needs to sort this out because if they're caught doing that, they're liable of fines
Yeah.
for that happening as well from the ICO.
To be fair, though, to Facebook.
Not to mention the amount of damage caused to other people's livelihoods because of it. Facebook needs to sort it out fast.
To
Pronto.
be fair to Facebook, though, it's like, is there an easy way to sort all of this out?
I mean,
that's the next question: is how easy is it to find these pages?
Preventing the scam from happening at the first point, honestly, there's no problem on that side because it's very difficult to prevent. But if someone reports it and you review it and you say there's nothing wrong with it, that's where I draw the line. I don't care that the scams are happening. Well, I do care that the scams are happening. I should probably mention that. The scam's happening. It's disgusting what people are doing, right? But the scam actually being put on Facebook in the first place, I mean, I can fully accept there's not much you can do about that, I'm afraid, because they're going to happen. People will do things like that. The problem is when you report it and Facebook says there's nothing wrong with it. And then they have the audacity to just tell you, block them. I'm sorry, I'm not blocking someone who's about to steal people's money and effectively run rogue, right? I'm not going to accept that happening, right? And when someone reports a scam and you review it, don't tell people that there's nothing wrong with it, because there is something wrong with it. It's a scam. People will lose money from that. People will lose everything from that. And that's disgusting. The fact that Facebook actually allows it to be facilitated on its own platform is disgusting. They need to sort out their reporting system fast, because scams should not be happening on their platform. They would be liable to fines, and also people are losing a lot of money from it, right? I've had 2 text messages in the past week, right? One claiming to be O2, one claiming to be from Lloyd's. I did tweet both of them out. O2 actually got back to me and confirmed that the text message I received was a scam. I reported it straight away to the ICO. Right? This needs to stop. When someone reports a scam, deal with it. Fast. Facebook, please. People are losing money.
What I found is that if you tend to report the page a second time, it does disappear.
Well, the thing is, I asked them to review it again, and they never got back to me on that. And the page did finally get taken down, but it was still there. The page itself was still there. They just took off the logos and stuff, which, again, is not acceptable. If it's to be taken down, it's to be taken off the platform completely. Damien, and this is going to be the last comment I'm going to read, and then I'm going to go for lunch because I am getting, I'm getting a little bit antsy here at the moment, so I need lunch. Damien, well, there is a Twitter lawsuit in regards to Twitter saying someone reporting a post for CP wasn't against their policies. Social medias don't care about anything. Exactly. These things need to change fast. Not only is there fines that can be issued out to people, it's destroying livelihoods. Right? These social media platforms need to sort out their shit fast, especially on scams, right? Scams are the absolute epitome of disgusting. Child pornography is ridiculously stupid as well. That's absolutely disgusting as well. But scams, they happen a lot more frequently. Thankfully, child pornography, as far as I'm aware, isn't really all that frequent. It still happens and it's disgusting, but scams are a lot more frequent, and I think that needs to be sorted out pronto. Only when federal officers get involved, they do something. Well, yeah, that's the problem. Only when actually something bad has happened will they finally sort it out. And something bad really needs to happen for them to finally open their eyes. And the problem is, I don't want that happening. I don't think anybody wants that to happen. So they need to sort it out quickly. But yeah, anyway, that's a nice little chat we've had there. So I'm gonna head off for lunch. I'm gonna be gone for about half an hour or so. I will be gone for quite some time, but once we're back, we are going to carry on with the All Stations Challenge. We are currently in Huddersfield, and we're in Stalybridge, actually, and we're going to Mossley next, which is the other way, and our train is at 9:30, so I'm going to pause the game, otherwise I'm going to lose it. But yeah, don't forget, of course, we are, of course, doing this as a charity live stream event for the Samaritans. If you would like to donate to that, if you type exclamation charity in the chat, then that will bring up the link for you. We haven't had any donations in yet, so there's nothing for me to read out, but if you can donate, then please do so, because Samaritans, they are a great charity who help people out with mental health conditions, and particularly if anyone's just dealing with mental health, anyone's dealing with anything, and they just want someone to chat to, someone who's independent, someone who will give them independent advice to talk to, then the Samaritans can help out there. It's also a free phone as well, so it doesn't show up in your bills or anything. You don't have to tell anybody about it. It's completely confidential, completely anonymous, and they help a lot of people out, and especially at this time with COVID, in this COVID pandemic era. It's a what's the word I'm looking for? Priceless, that's the one. It's a priceless service for people these days because of everything that's going on at the moment. So if you can donate, then please do so. Extra of a charity in the chat, that'll bring up the Just Giving link. All the proceeds of that will go straight to the charity as well. The Samaritans, they are a great charity. They're a fantastic charity to raise money for, and I'm really happy to be doing that. Let's try and get some donations in as well. So if you would like to donate, again, there are links everywhere on my channel at the moment for that. And I would like us to have some donations in as well if we can. But, of course, the important thing is if we can at least raise awareness on mental health as well, that would be even better as well. That would be amazing. And I'm hoping that we can do that this stream as well. So if you ever want to have a chat or anything, then please feel free to chat in the chat box as well, and I'll answer your messages. I know we've had a bit of an antsy little chat there earlier about scams and stuff, but I promise my streams I can be talking about literally anything in my streams, and that's what I like about this channel, is we can have it as an avenue for having a nice conversation. But I'm gonna go for lunch. Afterwards we're gonna carry on with the All Station Challenge, of course, and we're gonna carry on for a little bit longer. Now Damien's just got a rubber duck squeak. I'm gonna put in the chat in here very quickly, and there we go. Matt, do you have any last thoughts or things to say?
I'll still be going. I've got I'm still on a service at the moment.
That's fine. So, anyway, I'm going to put the BRB screen on. I'll be gone for quite a while. I'll put that on the thing as well to let people know that I'll be gone for a little bit longer than usual. I'll put some music on for you guys so you guys aren't just listening to complete silence. And I will be back in about half an hour to 45 minutes or so. So, see you guys once I have returned.
See you in a bit.